And this is Magnus again with Radio Visca. I'm trying something different tonight. You might hear that the sound is a bit different. I'm actually out and about. I'm walking down a dark street right now in near my neighborhood. It's around midnight. There's virtually no traffic in these sort of side streets here, just off the main street. But there's a few train tracks around. There'll be some helicopters, probably some jets, and general sort of edge of inner city. It's not right. I don't live right in the center of the city, but it's definitely the edge of the inner city, the initial sort of outlying living areas. But in this area right here, it's fairly quiet. I found a sort of nice dark side street, and just felt like walking tonight and speaking a little bit more freely while being outside. And that's sort of, and you'll have to excuse my voice as well. I've got a bit of a cold. That's sort of the reason. Well, the being outside is one of the things that are part of my today's episode, today's sort of topic, because we spend an awful lot of time in front of our computers these days, in not only in the West, all over the planet, really. It's either our tablets or our phones or our computers or our TVs or some other video game device. And all of us spend far too much time staring at screens and not talking to each other. And I don't think this is a very well explored, well researched area. If we think about the average amount of screen time humans would have had in 1950, I mean, for the vast majority of people, that would have been the odd once a month or maybe once a week or so cinema visit. And there would have been some radio time, which I believe is a very different type of media to consume than modern internet computer screens. But that would have been it. Very few people had TVs, and the vast majority of intellectual activity would have been face to face or through reading books and writing books. And I don't think that writing books or reading physical books has anywhere near the same quality as computer use. For one, they're not interactive, so it's very easy to just put them down and go do something else. The pages are physical in front of you. It's really like examining an object in a way. It's like you have some artwork and you're just looking at the detail in the artwork. Of course, your mind does travel to the places that the text describes and the concepts that the text describes. But I believe interaction with a computer is a fundamentally different type of interaction. You might hear the train here. It just sucks you in a way that a book doesn't, at least for me. And don't get me wrong, I think a book very much can entrance you and put you in, transport you to a different place, but it does it in a different way. For one, you're not active in the same way. You're not choosing your own journey, so you're not clicking on hyperlinks. You're not saving things. You're not opening new tabs. And as far as Skype or Facebook goes, you're not sort of even communicating with other people directly at that point in time. So, and video games are even more interactive, obviously. So, or certain types of applications that people have to use for work, such as Photoshop and so on. So I think it's a very different type of brain state that you go into. When you think about this type of brain state, people are in it. Many people are in it for 10 to 12 hours a day with very little interruption. The interruption is getting onto the train. Then on the train, they're staring at the phone. And they get off the train, walk a few steps to their office. Then they're in that state again. Then they have lunch break, which some people spend in front of their computer. Other people spend also staring at their phone, and some people obviously spend it talking to other humans in real life. But there's a significant portion of people that don't even get away from a screen during the lunch break. Then you have another, 5 hours or so of screen time. And you walk to the train again, then you're staring at the phone again, then you go home, and then often people get right onto Netflix or computer games or browsing the internet or doing their own projects. In many cases, just having any kind of project, whether it's starting your own company or social activity, meetups, it requires staring at a computer screen as well. I mean, so much of our life is just mediated and organized these days through computers. And I'm very much guilty of this as well. And obviously running a not a big YouTube channel, but this small kind of YouTube channel, it takes even more time. So that's really all I had to sort of talk about today. It's just this question that I ask myself here: is this good for us? I think there's research out there that indicates it's not. And when you think about just how pervasive it is, it's all encompassing, and it's basically transformed humanity within 10 to 20 years now. I don't think we've even started imagining what kind of repercussions that has for the global psyche, for humanity as a whole, for society as a whole, and how it's changing our social interactions and our brains. So if anyone has any good research in regards to that, or if anyone knows of good articles, please post below. Yeah, and it's definitely something I will be returning to and we'll be talking about more. But for now, I'll continue my little midnight stroll, happy to be away from a screen.